I don't know who needs to hear this message, but I feel extremely called to share it because it's something that I'm going through myself as well. But I want you to know that where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. Trust me. Trust me. I know it seems crazy, especially you got people who losing jobs, walked away from jobs, don't know where money is coming from. You might have some people leaving your life, and it's like there's no way this is where I should be. Why is this happening to me? Type of thing. I get it, because like I said, I've been through things that are similar, but it all will make sense later, and I'll tell you why with my own experience. Recently, a few months ago, I quit my job, and that was like the biggest step I've ever taken in my whole life on my own accord, you know? And you have days where it's like, yes, I feel free, but then you have days where it's like, did I make the right decision? You know, but I know I did because when I was in it and I felt miserable where I was and things were weighing heavy on me, it's like, no, I have to get out of here. You know, I was talking to God and I really felt like God was showing me signs that it was time. You know, too many things were coming up, too many synchronicities, things that I had been thinking about prior. You know, somebody might say it or I might read it somewhere and it was just constant over and over again like, this is not for you. So you have to go. So I went. You know, but when you're in a process of doing something, you have yet to see the end of that tunnel, it could be a struggle. And this is where I am right now, but I'm going to tell you what sign came to me. So I'm literally reading the Bible right now. I started reading the Bible, opening from the first page and trying to get through it myself. But I'm not going to lie, I take my time. I do because it's a lot to read, but also I want to digest it. I want to see how I can apply it to my life if possible, you know. I want to make sure I'm taking it all in. It's not just any ordinary book, you know. So this is what I've been doing. And I'm in the Old Testament. I've been stuck in the book of Numbers for quite some time. And I hate being stuck there. Like, it's just, how long is it going to take me to get out of here? And if you know anything about the book of Numbers, right now I'm reading about Moses and their journey after leaving Egypt and, you know, still being in the wilderness. There's a lot of repetition. You know, God will tell Moses, have them do it, have them do this, and have them do it this way, this way, this way. I want this type of garment. I want them to do it this way. I want them to do this for 7 days. You know, X, Y, and Z. So he tells him all this stuff, and Moses is supposed to take everything he says verbatim and go repeat it. And he does, and then they tell you about everything they did and repeat the exact same steps over and over. So it could be a lot as a human, I'm not gonna lie. So I've been taking my time. I picked up the Bible again and I was struggling. I don't know about y'all, but I Google everything. I try to see if people are having the same problems, you know. I Google why is it so hard to get through the book of Numbers just to see if anybody else had the same struggle. I don't think I really found exactly what I was looking for as far as somebody else relating to that. However, people were talking about summarizing exactly what was happening in the book of Numbers. I'm like, okay, they're talking about the struggles and um, how people were kind of getting a little discouraged about what was to come and what they had left behind. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead, pick the Bible back up, and see what I could do with it. I'm gonna just push through. And as I continued to read, what I realized is that where they were in the wilderness, people were complaining. To the they got to a certain point, and it's like, okay, we're no longer there, but we're safe now. And now that we're kind of safe, I'm kind of getting exhausted as to like what's in front of me, with what's in front of me right now. Why do we keep eating manna every day? I'm tired of this. Where the meat at? We had meat back home in Egypt. It's been X amount of time. Why is God still taking us through the wilderness? Why can't He just give us the land that we already passed through? You know, these are the things that the people are saying. And God was mad. He was mad because He's just like, are you joking? You know, I just pulled you up out of Egypt where your life was 10 times worse, and what was to come was going to be 10 times worse. I saved you from here. I showed you how I saved you. I parted the sea for y'all to walk on through, and you complaining. You complaining about what food you have to eat, but you got food. You know, and God was really mad about that. So he just was like, okay, I'm gonna show y'all. You know, luckily Moses went to him and asked him to forgive those people, because it's just like, you bring your people out of Egypt, you save them from Egypt just to kill them in the desert. You know, you don't want that to be the message. But God, he forgave them, but he still handled his business because he's fair. You know, he's just. He says he gonna do what he say he gonna do. You're not gonna talk about God and do certain things to God and not understand what you're doing. You know, he's gonna let you know. He said, I'm gonna give him meat, and I'm gonna give it to him not for a day, not for 2 days, not a week. I'm gonna give it to him so much that they're gonna be sick of it. You know, and the people who got their quail, when that quail showed up, they paid for that day. But it made me realize that the reason why I was stuck in the book of Numbers in this particular time in my life is because that's exactly where I am. You know how they say you open up the Bible and you read something that you needed to hear? I have been reading the Bible as if it was just a book. You know, I'm going through page by page, and I got stuck. And I got stuck for this very moment in my life where I have a lot of uncertainty. You know, like I said, I walked away from a situation that was extremely secure, and people were looking at me like, are you crazy? But I can't explain to you how heavy it was for me to be in that situation. You know how many times I talked to God about not wanting to be there no more, just not feeling. It's not that I didn't feel good enough, because again, it's a similar job I had been doing for a very long time. It's just, this isn't good enough for me. You know, this doesn't feel like it's it. It can't be it. Um, so I walked away. But right now I'm in limbo, trying to figure out, okay, yeah, it felt nice to walk away. Yeah, I'm okay, but you know, where's the next thing? Where's my stability at? Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Because I can't see it. I can't see it. And God reminded me through the Bible is, I led you out of here already. You were 10 times more miserable in like a mental prison, going back and forth to this job. You and I had this conversation. You left this job and you've been all right. You left this job in March. You've been unemployed since March. It is late July. And you didn't even think you were going to make it this far. And here you are. You made it this far. So if I've never failed you back then, why would I fail you now? I've had plenty of instances where I had to step out on faith, and it's not just this one. You know, and people doubted me. People was like, you crazy. You giving up this for that? What? And I ended up on top. So it's just like, when have I failed you, and why would I fail you now? Why would I fail you now? Here you are, and we're going to continue to go down this road. Let it unfold. Because even me living in the city, I've been living here for a little over 2 years now, but I didn't think I was going to move here. I told myself back then, I'm going to move in 2 years. So if I had went along with my plan, I probably would have just moved. But God shook some things up for me to where it was like, no, I got a plan for you, and I'm going to fast track this. So don't doubt me now. You might not be able to see the end of the tunnel, but know that it's there. There's a promised land. I told you it was a promised land if you took this leap of faith with me. And it is. Just because I don't see it right now, don't mean it's not there. And that is why it was so hard for me to get through the book of Numbers, is because just like those people being in the wilderness trying to figure out what's next, that is exactly what I'm doing right now. Wherever you are in your journey, whatever is happening to you, whether if you're dealing with heartbreak, a loss of a job, it is for your good, own good in the future. If things always went the way you wanted them to go, the way you expected them to go, why would you ever leave certain situations that you're in? You know, think about how many relationships you've been in. You like, this might be the one. I'm excited to do this with this person, this and that. And then later on down the line, you know, something happened. You see their true colors. It's like, would you have rather stayed there to find out later? You know? No. You find something better. You find better friends. You find better significant others. There is something out there for you. You just got to let God lead you to it. And there's things that's out here happening that you can't even see. Stuff that's behind the scenes, you know? There's other people that God bring into your life to give you these testimonies, and he's got to move some strings. You might be ready. You might be taking all the steps that you need to take for you. And you're still in this waiting period. When is the waiting period going to be over? Because I did everything I was supposed to do. Okay, but there's other moving parts, and I got to move this person. I got to get this right for you. I am preparing something for you. Just as you wait for somebody to prepare you a meal at a restaurant or family house, y'all chilling, y'all talking, find something to do while you wait for what's being prepared for you. And know that there is something being prepared for you. You didn't just come here to have a life filled with sorrow, misery, and everything else. That is not why you're here. You're not here to live aimlessly and just hoping to catch on to the right thing that people tell you you should do. Your life is going to be fine. It will always be fine as long as you have that in the back of your mind and you strive for that, Like don't get in the dumps. Don't let this moment of quiet or uncertainty lead you down certain paths that you're going to have a hard time getting out of. Don't fall into certain addictions and stuff like that. If you are feeling uncertain about where you're going, talk to God about it. Call on God, because the thing is, God will answer when you call. You don't have to dress it up. You don't have to, let me get ready for this interview. Let me talk this way. God knows who you are. Talk to him the way that you would talk to a friend. If you're feeling down, say, God, I'm feeling down and I need you to be with me right now. I need you to show me what it is I need to give me peace of mind. I trust you. I just can't see. And I know that I shouldn't be worried about what I can't see, but please help me in whichever way you can. And I'm saying that because I did the same thing. And that day was the day that I opened up the Bible and I struggled to get through the book of Numbers, and he revealed that to me. I could sit up here and tell you about my signs, and it's like, oh, okay, you might get it, but you might not. The signs that you get from God are specific to you. Like, you'll understand them. It'll make total sense to you, and it might not make sense to anybody else. I'm sharing this because I know what I'm going through is a hell of a testimony. It's going to be a good testimony. It already is, but I just want to share it as I'm going through it. But everybody does not feel that way when they're going through it. And sometimes people will be like, you think that's a sign from God, or you think you tripping? You making up something in your mind, or you seeing things the way you want to see them. And I'm not saying that people don't do that. I'm not saying that I've never been guilty of doing that. But when you call on God and you talk to God often and you ask for signs, you ask for him to show you in a way that'll make sense to you, he will. He will. You just can't bet on the fact that other people will understand, because their mind works a certain way. They've been through certain experiences that make them think a certain way. But that gut feeling, that thing that pulls you more than like anything else, what that feels like. Pay attention to how you feel, because this is your journey in life. This is your journey with God. And when you read through the Bible, if you're familiar with any of the stories in there, everybody has their own. There will be similarities, but the way they got there was different from the next person. So accept where you are right now. Good, bad, ugly, whatever, take it in, because this is building up who you are. It's adding depth to who you are. It's adding things to your story, so that way God can shine through you, and also let other people know that you're not alone. If some of the stuff didn't happen to me the way that it did, it wouldn't make me as relatable to people either. That's what kind of ties us together as humans. We might have different experiences, but the emotions that we feel are the same. I could have experienced some form of betrayal that made me feel some type of pain, hurt, sorrow, whatever. And my friend could have did that. I could have had friends doing that to me left and right, and you could have dealt with that in multiple relationships. I don't know how it came up, but we all experience similar feelings. So I know that this is going to resonate with somebody out there. It will not always be this way. It won't. But right now, You are here to learn something in this period that you're in right now. Take it all in. If you don't know what that is, continue to talk to God. Talk to God all the way through it. What is it that you're trying to show me here? Clear my mind, clear my heart, remove distractions so I can hear your voice more clear than I ever have. Guide me. I trust you. You know, that's another thing about trust. When you trust somebody, it's like you don't have to ask them about anything. You don't have to question them. It's just like my best friend. I trust you not to talk about me behind my back. But I don't have to say that to you. You know, it's like it's just by default. I know that you're not going to do it. So I don't have to mention it. So if you have enough trust in God, know that God got your best interest at heart. He knows what you're going through. He knows what's in your heart. He knows what your dreams are and everything like that. So while you're going down this path that's not the traditional one, or you can't see nothing, there's no street lights, just trust that God is pulling you and guiding you, walking with you down this road that you cannot see. He can see, but you can't see. Trust it. Just as you trust anybody else, you trust these cooks to cook your food. You don't say nothing about it. You just trust that it's coming out piping hot when you're ready. Trust God the same way and have faith in your journey. Whoever needs this message, take it, digest it. I know I said a lot about my own journey, but again, where you are is where you need to be.